the show. Oh, who the fuck? Oh, fuck. I got feeling shoulder bitch. Oh.
Where's the CLT Trip ever taken?
Hey everybody, we want to thank you for listening to a show with the Oddcast Network. If you're listening on your podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, anything like that, if you could leave us a rate, comment, subscribe, stuff like that, we truly super appreciate it. Go over to patreon.com/oddcastn, get bonus episodes, bonus series, stuff like that. We appreciate you, thank you, stay odd, stay tuning in, come on now.
Apparently I found it and barbecued it, otherwise I wouldn't be this fucking bad. Like, I'm the only one that's ever caught the dragon.
How does it feel to be voted the most hated man in America right now?
In a country full of Neanderthals, I wear the fucking badge of honor.
How many times do I need to tell you?
No more shooting at Pop-Pop.
You said it yourself. Pop-Pop's just a fucking zombie.
Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Indeed. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sad to announce that this video marks the end of Season 5 of Jokey Pants Has Bad Taste. It's been a long run. It's been a long run. It's going to be a very long playlist. But it's over now.
No, the movies just made it feel much longer than it was.
Yeah, if you've lost as many brain cells as we have with some of the movies we've covered this season, you understand. But we will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, we will be back with. We'll be starting off Season 6 with a fun one. We're gonna be doing Kaiju-tober, which is the bad taste version of Oddtober this year, and it's we have a lot of fun. A lot of fun to have.
You saying this tells me they haven't delivered the restraining order yet. Okay, I gotta get on that.
You're not gonna get it. They have the wrong address. So anyway, welcome everyone to Jokey Pants' Bad Taste. I'm Jokey Pants. With me as always, Cerebral Paul. Welcome, Paul.
Yep.
So here's your opening to this video. We're going back in time to a video that holds some nostalgia for me. Which is why our my opinions are going to differ this episode.
Whereas I watched it and remembered I had trouble holding my lunch when I watched it the first time. So, yeah. Not because it was gross or anything. I do gross or nasty. Just because it is what it is. And I'm like, So
this movie has its issues. Oh, we're going to be talking about Resident Evil from 2002. That's right, the one that started all this shit, and then like Fast and Furious, it lost the plot by the second movie, and then was like, I don't know, it's about whatever the fuck they say it's about.
This one lost the plot about 20 minutes into this movie, okay?
I have some controversial takes for all you people on the internet that are talking about things, and it's going to lead into the reason we're putting this out now is the new Resident Evil movie will be out in about a month-ish or so. It comes out later this year. And I figured, why not talk about the first Resident Evil movie that was made and talk about the things with it? Because there are things about this that work. There are things about this that don't work. This is coming from someone who's been a fan of all the games.
Ask the important questions like, why the hell did they do this? But, yeah, I know why they did it. The game was popular. That's why they did it. And they said, we have a title, we have a basic plot. We're going to change everything about it, except for a few of the names. We're going to add people that aren't in any of the games.
Yeah, there are some choices, and the person who made it probably answers a lot of that. But, it's all right, let's get into it. So Resident Evil 2002. So right off the bat, this is a Paul W.S. Anderson movie. It's already not starting great. Yeah, not related. He's not related to the Anderson in my family, thank God. And he's not related to Paul. So no, different Paul. Again, a different Paul.
Yeah.
But if you don't remember W.S. Anderson, there are some movies he's done that you probably have seen if you haven't seen this, and that's we got Alien versus Predator 2 years after this. That fantastic movie, that wonderful.
I would say
under the
I
ice.
enjoyed that one more than I enjoyed this one.
That's the thing. I enjoyed that one a little bit just because it's like it was the only time we ever got it. It's like it's not great, but you know what? It could have been way fucking worse. We've seen him do way worse with that. The movie after that. We also had a Death Race from 2008, which hit and miss with people. For me, it's if I want just a dumb action movie in the background while I'm editing that I've seen already, whatever, I can put on Death Race and be like, okay, there's dumb action things going on. Jason Statham, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
well,
okay.
and just for you young people, it was actually a remake of an old movie. It was called Death Race 2000.
Yeah. So. Boy, did he have... He has a track record. Another movie that he's done. Now, this is the big one of how do you feel? Mortal Kombat 1995, he was also the director of, which has its problems. I feel like the Mortal Kombat 1995 and Resident Evil 2002 have the same issue with him directing, where it's like you're including things that are clearly from the game, but you're changing it so much. It's like, what the fuck am I actually watching anymore? He does the same thing in both of these movies based on a game. But then I have to say the worst contender of everything that on the list, besides the sequels to this fucking movie, I can't even begin to tell you how angry every movie after the second one really makes me. But he also did Monster Hunter in 2020, which was also... God, he tried doing Resident Evil again because he was just like, hey, Mila, honey, you want to be another just badass hero main character that has nothing to do with what this is based on and will focus it on you? Great. That's how I feel with Monster Hunter. So there's a track record for him. So anyway.
I'm so glad he hasn't tried to do comic book movies. I mean, the closest he got to DC was Mortal Kombat, so,
He's actually, he's returning to zombies. He's doing the Resident Evil route again. This came out a couple years ago, and it's in production. He's doing House of the Dead, the video games, the arcade games, and I'm just like, what are we fucking doing? Why? Those have been tried twice. Can you guess how good those are? Neither one of them are good. So, he's just doing it again. All right, so before we get into this full-on movie, I feel like we have to acknowledge that in 1999 there was almost a very different movie that was made. The Godfather, George A. Romero, was originally supposed to do this movie, and he had a bunch of really cool concepts, and I've seen like the behind the scenes of like, he had some really cool ideas he would have done. However, Sony, on the other hand, was like, nah, I don't think that's going to really work, George. And then George ended up getting mad and saying, you know what? Fuck you then. I'm done with this project.
Pretty much sounds like George. Yeah.
Butted a lot of heads with Sony and the execs. And it went over for 2 years. And then W.S. Anderson decided, no, this is the behind the scenes, what he says he did. Locked himself in a room. And he played all 3 Resident Evil games. And then he went, this needs to be a movie. And approached Sony and was like, I'll make that movie. And thus this fucking movie was born.
I mean, to me, knowing what I know about this movie and the way it runs and what they do, this feels almost like a prequel to the games even. Well, because at the end of this movie, where they say move her to, and you go, oh, okay, now I know where we're at.
So we're gonna dive into why this holds some nostalgia for me personally. B, Jokey Pants, the age difference between me and Paul is gonna be shown real hard here. This movie came out in 2002. I was in 2nd grade when this movie came out. I did not see it. Yeah, exactly. I did not see it when it came out. But when the second movie came out, my dad had seen both in theaters. And then this was 2 years later, so I was in 4th grade. This is when I was just getting into horror. My dad was like, all right, well, I've shown you like Frogs and Jaws, whatnot. Here's the schlockier side of horror. I think you'll be all right with this because you're already, like, I was reading the Game Informer magazines with all the Resident Evil, the Suffering, and all this stuff, and I thought it was really cool, even though it gave me nightmares. So then my dad was like, all right, I'll show you what this movie is since you've asked me about it for 2 fucking years now, ever since you saw it in a magazine. And so then I was introduced to this movie, and then I saw the second one. So this movie has, like, some nostalgia for me of, like, I was a kid, I was just getting into horror, I had just started to see some of the classics, and then my dad just being like...
You said 2nd grade, so you... So for the first one, so you were around 9 or 10. Yeah, your dad must have assumed you were already screwed up at that point, because
I was watching things like on my own, because like, so living with my mom and my stepdad, having parents that don't really pay attention, they would order things from Netflix back when Netflix still did DVD deliveries, not even like online, when they would mail you the DVD.
Right. That's how they really got their kick.
So my parents would rent movies. They had rented, oh God, hang on a second. Let me double check my, Yes. So my parents, we've covered one of these. They rented the House of Wax remake, and then, they don't pay attention. They just put the DVD up on the counter when they're done with it, whatever. And then I'd be like, oh, what's this? And then I saw the House of Wax. I also saw the Texas Chainsaw remake movie, because, again, they rented it from Netflix. So my dad knew I was already watching things. He's like, well, let's watch one not quite as horrible as those as far as, like, how R-rated it is. We'll go with this instead, which... To be fair to my dad, like, considering the other 2 I had watched on my own, pretty fair.
Well, no, actually, I think I have you beat, because by the time I was that age, my dad had already had me watching, Day of the Dead. So,
yeah, see, my dad, I only got
which was much grosser than anything you had watched up to that point. Yeah.
So my dad just we saw things when we could, but so also the title of this movie was supposed to be Ground Zero.
Humor. Shut up. You're not funny.
Don't question me. Don't question how I produce things here. I am the man with the control.
Fuck you.
And I had seen there is not that it was ever fucking released. Hang on a second. Sorry. It was, as far as I was able to see, it has never been released, but there is technically a director's cut for this movie, which is just the screen print VHS that apparently is very elusive, but every now and again appears somewhere, with things that he had to remove from this to get an R rating. And I'm only curious what the hell it is that they had to change and remove to put this, because they cut out so much of the like gore stuff. Like, what the fuck could they have possibly had in this that was gonna make it not able to release?
That was back in the time when they with 13 Ghost was the first time I remember seeing where they were able to do the whole split the body and watch it slide in half. The same thing they did with Ghost Ship, which they're remaking or doing a sequel for.
Apparently doing a sequel.
The wire slicing, with the wire slicing, yeah.
I can't get into the Ghost Ship sequel. It's just, how the fuck are you doing a sequel? Like, how are you going to make it?
Like I said in our chat, they're going to try to over-explain why it is doing what it's doing. And it's like, don't over-explain it.
And they're setting the bar.
Yeah. It's like when what's-his-name tried to explain Michael Myers and his take on Halloween. I'm like, no, stop. For the love of God, somebody take the director's chair away from him and beat him with it.
They've set the bar at a height for the sequel, because they're like, we're going to come up with an opening better than the wire cutting. And I'm like, Don't do that.
No, you
don't
can't do
set
that.
a bar to.
You can't do that because nobody was expecting the wire cutting. That's the only reason it really worked as well as it did.
Yeah, God, honestly, it's the only scene in that movie where I'm like, I'll watch that. I don't particularly love that movie, but that scene especially, I'm like, that was a very good edit on their part. So 2 more little facts before we get into this. One of them is only relevant because we've talked about this person before on a different movie. And I made the exact same joke as why he wasn't in this. David Boreanaz was supposed to play Matt, the cop, in this movie, but he was filming Angel and had to back out of production. But you know what he still had time for? Fucking Valentine. Couldn't be in Resident Evil, but we got him in fucking Valentine.
Of the two, I gotta say Valentine was the better movie. I mean, really. I mean, we know how I feel about Valentine, but
I think I would have preferred him just be in this, just so I don't have to say I've ever seen fucking Valentine.
But I mean, really, this movie didn't call for really good acting chops. Nobody has more than 3 lines in a row.
I mean, that's fair. But, it's one of those things. I read that and I'm like, I wonder if that's why he took Valentine, is because Resident Evil exploded and was getting like sequels and like whatnot. So I wonder if like he got offered Valentine shortly after and he's like, well, I passed up on the last horror movie and that exploded. So I can't pass up this opportunity. But unfortunately, it's Valentine.
But see, it exploded back then, but now people look back at it and go, it's not that great.
Like I said, I have some points when we get into this movie. And then my last little thing is this was the movie that caused Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich to get married because they started dating while they were filming this movie. And I just have to add in, that almost seems a little creepy, considering how many fucking naked shots of this woman we get in this movie that he had to film. I wonder if that had any influence on why they started dating.
He also saw how flexible she was. So,
So anyway, this movie, Resident Evil. So we open up. This is the first good point I will give the 2002 Resident Evil movie. Is this opening where they're talking about the Umbrella Corporation and what they do and what they secretly do. And I went, you automatically get a good point because that is accurate to what the games are. Is yes. For those of you who don't know, if you never played Resident Evil, I'll give you the brief breakdown from this movie. This movie does a pretty good job, which is Umbrella is a big giant company across the world and they do pharmaceuticals, they do medical, they literally an umbrella. They do a bunch of shit for a lot of people. But then behind the scenes, they're super fucking evil and are just like, what if I mutated the genes on an alligator and then trapped it in a sewer system just because, I don't know, what would it do? So it's accurate in that point of yes. They come off as like, we're here for your well-being, but then in reality, they are fucking horrible. They are making giant fucking monsters for no reason.
And the category you left out, which is very important here throughout the movie, they also delve into AI in 2002. So
yeah, they had an AI before AI. Man, well, wow. See, this movie's getting even more relevant. Paul's sitting over here shitting on it. It's got a killer AI. That's a problem now. So, movie comes back around, doesn't it? Anyway.
Pretty sure this AI told Skynet, hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Umbrella created Skynet now that I rewatch it.
At the beginning of the 21st century, the Umbrella Corporation had become the largest commercial entity in the United States. 9 out of every 10 homes contain its products. Its political and financial influence is felt everywhere. In public, it is the world's leading supplier of computer technology, medical products, and healthcare. Unknown even to its own employees, its massive profits are generated by military technology, genetic experimentation, and viral weaponry.
So yeah, we get get the thing about Umbrella, which is, again, just accurate. I do enjoy that they actually got that right. But we zoom in.
They got the name of the company right. Okay, congratulations.
They got the name of the company right, and they got the lore accurate to what Umbrella was.
Yeah.
This is the only lore accurate thing about Umbrella that they will get right. They at least got that right.
They got the spelling right, you know. They did that.
It turns out, even if you play the game, you make the person who's supposedly the founder of said company a random fucking character instead of what the character should have been. So, you know, you win some, lose some. So anyway, so we go from the text crawl. It zooms in, and a dude is taking out like canister vials and putting them into some kind of case. This is an interesting shot where like it's just all black and it's just zooming in because you're behind the wall, whatever. But dude takes out all the stuff, and they cover up his face so you don't get to see who it is. Although if you look really closely, you can kind of tell who it is anyway. But anyway, he takes out this like safety locked like box, suitcase, whatever, except for one vial with a little blue coils in it, and he throws it and it releases something, and then it cuts to like this insane office.
Well, and I want to point out that some of the scenes, some of the quick cuts we're getting are scenes through what appear to be camera lenses and things like that, and so that's already kind of a clue in your head that okay, something's monitoring them, they're watching them, they're watching what's happening.
A lot of that, there's a lot of just cameras. I gotta say though, for this office setting, if I had somebody run into me and spill my coffee all over me and ruin my suit, and then
he was way too calm for that. He was way too calm for that.
He really was. Because to then find out, spoilers if you somehow never fucking seen this movie, but to find out that they're like half a mile underground and like you don't leave here, I'd be even more. I would beat someone's fucking ass right there.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, it's built directly on his shirt. And you're assuming that this is coffee, that it's hot, okay? He did not react like he got hit by McDonald's level scald your skin off coffee.
We didn't see the ice cubes, but assuming it's iced, because he's not burned at all.
No, he didn't, and he didn't react. He just kind of went,
oh, my coffee.
Yeah, and it's only that So yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been hot coffee. I mean, either that or they forgot to tell him, dude, it's supposed to be hot. Dude, yeah.
I'm glad you caught that, because I had a note too. Not reacting to hot coffee. But we get to look at like some people in offices and their whole whatever the fuck they're doing. We have this dude who then goes into an elevator and apparently starts some kind of office romance thing. Another weird thing that I guess maybe trying to humanize these people that are about to fucking die, but like, why are we getting this random romance with the dude where like she compliments him? He's like, oh, a pretty girl. Okay. Why? I don't know. Because it serves absolutely zero purpose.
No, you had it right the first time. It was to humanize them, to show that they were just Well, they were just, but they were just people going about their day. That's the idea. It was a quick way to just show people going throughout their normal workday. You know.
And I do understand. But we also see the smashed vial. We see that the camera zooms in on it, and then it talks about containment protocols, whatever the hell that means. Don't worry, you're going to find out real quick what the hell that means. Because it said the office doors get shut. Everybody's like, why are they locked? And then the people in the elevator lose power. They're like, what the hell's going on? Oh, fire drill. Okay, well, we just got to figure it out. Nobody's making it out, because the last people we get or like the first people we see are in trouble is like people who go into the lab and they get locked in and it sets off the sprinklers and they're just like, this is a sealed room, we're all gonna drown, oh god. And then people in the office who get a fire suppressant system which chokes all the air out of the room, so they die horribly. They just fucking suffocate.
That would take a lot of Halon, because Halon is, just so you know, because I actually worked in a computer room that had Halon dispensers in case there was a fire, and it would basically seal the area. And all my boss told me was, all you really need to do is stand up so you're above the level of the Halon and you'll be fine.
Oh, so you shouldn't lay down on the ground.
No. Because the Halon goes down to the ground level to smother the flames at the level they're at, basically.
So all these people that just lay on the ground are like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
If they had just stood up.
If they had just stayed up, yeah.
I love how stupid yet simple.
Apparently they missed that day in safety training, If the Halon goes off, just stay above the Halon,
If Resident Evil's taught me anything, their safety thing is just hope it doesn't kill you. We're not gonna help.
Well, I mean, we'll get into it, but to be fair, at least the AI started off with must contain what's going on here. That's how it started, anyway. That's how.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, that means everyone has to die. Apparently, because then we get. One of the elevator goes flying past, it just plummets to the bottom, and then we have all the people in our elevator. And we get the scene that scared the ever-living fuck out of me as a child and gave me my first fear of elevators. And then horror movies found a way to make even worse elevator deaths that would make me even more afraid of elevators as I got older.
By the way, I'm also assuming that this is something they edited out of the final cut to get that rating.
I would think so, because I feel like
because we don't see anything in the end. They set it up a lot, but we don't see anything.
Which is one thing that makes me mad with this movie. They do that a lot, and I feel like that was part of the editing on it. Is just I feel like I'd have to go back and look at how they were rating movies at that point versus now, because I feel like you could get away. Because for those, if you've never seen this, it's the chick goes in the elevator and then they can't get out. They get the one woman like out of it, but she's only got her head and one shoulder.
Okay, so they pry the door open and then she gets her head and her shoulder, and she can see they're kind of on a floor. They're kind of big, and so the elevator, first thing it does is it drops down to where it almost takes off her head on the bottom.
Yes,
and she's like, "Oh my god." And then all of a sudden, as soon as she looks up toward the top, the AI goes, "Ha ha ha, got you now." And the elevator goes, she's going racing up, and she apparently is stuck. Like a kid stuck with his head stuck in the stairwell.
It reminds me. What it actually reminds me. It reminds me of a fucking Scream where the one friend tries to go out the fucking cat door in the garage.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like I can't get out. The same
idea, yeah.
Which also, how the fuck is she not getting unstuck? You have everyone pulling or pushing on you. Either way, something should give you should be able to move. But yeah, so it decapitates her, but like it cuts. It doesn't show you the thing. So again, it's like, how are we rating things then? Because
it doesn't show her head flop on the outside or the body flop on the inside of the car.
And it should. It really should. It would make that even funner. Because it's a great premise. It just doesn't have the fucking payoff, which is something, again, this movie does a lot. And I assume that's the studio was like, oh, we got to trim back on this, that. But there are so many times it'll do something like that in this movie, and it's frustrating. So everyone's fucking dead. Basically what we're getting here is everyone's dead. The only thing I forgot was there's the one person in the lab who gets an axe, and he tries breaking the glass. which I have some issues with too. Like he gets like a tiny chunk, and then we see it later. There's like a couple, whatever. But
that happens to be the exact size of the pointy part of the axe that hits it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think that's how.
There is no glass that punctures like that without. Yeah, no,
no, that's not how that should work. But yeah, so everyone's dead, and then instead of getting an aftermath or like what might be going on, we just cut straight to naked Mila in a shower, knocked out, waking up, and I went, wow. It took Anderson about 5 minutes, if that, to get to, all right, now we get naked Mila, which we're going to do a lot in this movie. Every chance we get, because fuck it, why not, is how I feel. But she wakes up in a shower. She doesn't remember anything. Which I like the way that they, again, something I will give credit for, is I kind of like they don't automatically tell you she has no memory. It's just her, like, with, like, going up to the mirror, and she's looking around. They play with it a little bit. It gets tiring because they use it way too much for the rest of this movie, but opening this way, I'm like, okay, that's neat. Like,
by the way, here's an important point to point out, that this character that she plays is in nowhere in any of the games. She was developed for the movie.
So I have a little behind the scene peeksies. So originally, Mila's character was going to be a damsel in distress kind of character, right? But then there's another badass woman who comes into this movie who I'm happy she's in it.
See, now her I like. I had the hots for her. I will say that.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one who said it. So we get Michelle Rodriguez here in a minute. And she was one of the first people signed on. And I found out that was because Rodriguez there played the games and was very much talking to her manager of, like, if someone's doing something with this, call me, let me know. So the minute W.S. Anderson gave this script and Sony was going to do it, she got a call from her agent and was like, I'm on it. I don't care. Cast me. And because of that, her character Rain got all the action and was doing all the stuff. And Mila didn't like that. So the character was then rewritten. Instead of just in the way damsel in distress, she was also going to be a badass. And then, as we know in the future now, in 2002, we had no fucking idea where this was going to go. But in the future now, we know she's the ultimate badass of this entire universe and has apparently basically fucking superpowers. Which is why I can't fucking get in the sequels of this goddamn movie.
Yeah. But that's movie future. Again, that's not, Alice is nowhere in the games.
No. But that is, like, she wasn't a thing in the games, and she wasn't even supposed to be what she is originally.
Yeah.
They made her like a center focus thing. I don't know why. Anyway, so she's walking around the mansion. She doesn't quite know anything. She finds a note. She rewrites the note, and the handwriting doesn't match. So she's like, oh, I wonder who left that. She finds a drawer full of fucking guns, which that made me chuckle. I'm like, that's very Resident Evil. You just open a drawer, there's random guns for some reason. It doesn't go anywhere, but that is very.
I was expecting, tables just randomly in the hallway with bullets laying on them. There's a bullet. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's something out of a first aid kit for no apparent reason.
What's this here?
What is this weird looking typewriter thing sitting here? I don't know, but I'll type on it for a second.
Some kind of way to check my progress. But then, of course,
if I was doing the movie, that's the kind of stuff I would have done, just to kind of pay homage. That, even don't handle the typewriter, but it's just sitting there in an office somewhere as you're passing through, and you see this old school, typewriter.
Which, from what I've heard, Zach apparently is doing things like that with his movie that's coming. We'll see how much of that was talk versus what he actually put in. But we'll see.
He's having cell phones.
well. So at this point, Mila's character, Alice, we'll just call her Alice, which, fun fact, they don't give you this character's fucking name.
It's only in the credits. It's only in the credits. It's hilarious.
It's in the credit. And I actually saw the behind the scenes fact is like they didn't even use her name until like the second or third movie. Up until then, it was just hero woman character that everyone just goes along with, but like no one knows this woman's fucking name.
They should have just did like what's his name did for Thanksgiving, where you had Throat Glass Guy, which was awesome because that's how you forever known. I'm Throat Glass Guy, and everybody goes, "Oh, wait, I know who you were." Yeah, that's awesome.
Should have, but they didn't. So at this point, Alice she changes out from a towel. She gets on a red dress. Which the movie loses a point.
To the sadness of all the viewers in the movie theater.
Sure. Movie loses a point here. This dress is an Ada Wong dress. It's something that even the people in like the commentary for this movie are like, why did they pick Ada Wong's dress? Nobody fucking knows. But I don't even think she's a character till like the third, maybe
yeah
I don't think she comes until way later, but anyway, so she has the red dress. I guess he just wanted to make something more iconic. The mansion pisses me off because the mansion is the first game, and like if you're going to include it, do fucking something with it, because that's literally the whole they don't fucking do it. She's just in it for some reason. Also, it's not Spencer's mansion, because Spencer will meet in a bit and he's not who he fucking should be. But anyway, she gets surprised by not Chris Redfield, Matt, who says he's a cop. And then this is where the Umbrella people burst in, and we get Umbrella Spec Ops Task Force that bursts in through the fucking windows, and they start blasting questions at Alice. She doesn't fucking know because she doesn't remember anything. And this is where we get the first mention of the house defenses and their side effects, so she probably has some memory loss. They don't really linger on it. Team moves on, and we find out there's apparently just a secret train tunnel inside the mansion. That this is where he took the weird things about Resident Evil, and then he just made it extra weird, because there's a lot of like this secret passage that you have to use a statue for or whatever. Why is the train tunnel just underneath the mansion? Who the fuck knows? There's just a random train tunnel and it takes you to a secret laboratory.
I honestly think that given where a lot of this was done between the tunnels and the sewers, it was like, we don't have the budget to actually rebuild the mansion. So we can't have them running through that shit. But hey, you give us a 100-foot line of tunnel, and we can make that look like it goes on forever. That's what Star Trek used to do. The hallways in Star Trek, man, that's what they used to do. It was actually a very short piece, and they would just reshoot.
So basically, this movie, he's combining the first and second game. Which is not the first time this has happened. I'll get to that very quickly. I have a point about this. But so they take a train and they're going down into what the lab from the opening, and they're gonna figure out what the hell is going on, what happened, blah blah blah. Point I want to make. So right off the bat, this movie's combining the first second game. There's another movie that did this called Welcome to Raccoon City. And can I, if I just may, folks, you know which one I'd rather watch? I would rather watch this and sequel than watch Welcome to Raccoon City again. Because Welcome to Raccoon City also combined 1 and 2, but there's less things that I enjoy that movie than what I find nostalgic enjoyable with this one. So, which is something they keep doing, which is also to a point to Zach Kreger with what he's doing. I'm glad he's just doing possibly set during the second game. I don't know. This is just a character in the world of Resident Evil, and he's not trying to do a game because these just don't work well when they do this. So anyway,
also I want to point out that the umbrella squad here, they were considering killing her right off the bat. Well, that's what they are. They're umbrella special forces for just this situation, supposedly. Kind of like how Ripley got sent into just that situation, supposedly. You know.
So.
But they had the option to kill her, which they were considering.
They were considering, but then the main dude says that she's an operative and that she just doesn't have her memory. Which I also have questions of like, what do you mean she's not like I need more context. They don't ever give you any details or context.
No, because everybody there need to know. And you don't need to know,
I guess not even the audience needs to know anything. So anyway, they're on the train. And this is where they're on the train, they find a dude who's passed out who also has memory loss. And fun fact, everybody, this is Spencer. This is what they've reduced Spencer to. I hate it. Okay, everyone, I hate it. Spencer is... game lore wise, he takes this name and this character, and even he says like, oh, it's a homage to the game character. The game character is an old man in a fucking wheelchair who's like 80 years old and runs Umbrella. He's not like a young late 20s early 30s dude who's some kind of espionage person. So why he chose to do this is fucking beyond me. But anyway, they get him, and this is where we get. I hate that they do this the entire movie, because Mila's character Alice sees his wedding band and she gets a bunch of dumbass fucking random flashes of like, oh, I think maybe I'm married to that guy. They do that the entire fucking movie and it's stupid. I fucking hate this like shaky.
And I will say, because they do it with him too, that he honestly did have memory loss. He
Everyone who gets memories back.
Yeah.
You get like shitty, shaky 90s camera. Like, what is this? This is a choice that he made for all of this, and I don't fully understand. So anyway, so they get him, they get in, they get to what they call the Hive. And this is where we get debriefed about what the fuck is going on in this movie, which is the Hive is the lab, and that all the people we saw before are the workers in Umbrella's lab, and that it's like half a mile underground, nobody leaves, they all like a beehive, hence why they called it the Hive. Everyone lives and works in this fucking thing, and you're never allowed to leave. And they work on secret things that need to know basis, and you don't need to know. And then everyone moves on. They just give you an exposition dump and move on.
A top-secret research facility owned and operated by the Umbrella Corporation. The Hive houses over 500 technicians, scientists, and support staff. They live and work underground. Their research is of the highest importance. Its nature is classified.
So this is where, when they're walking through, we see the aftermath of the things from the opening. So we get like the office is empty, even though we saw all the bodies on the floor. We'll get to that. This movie takes a little too long to get to the zombies part of it, but we'll get to that. We also walk by the lab and we see all the individual holes that due to the axe put in the glass. They're all leaking water, and again, like we said earlier, that's not how an axe versus a thing of glass would work. It's not gonna just make perfect little triangle holes, but
yeah, sure. even if it's reinforced, like glass, like for
they say it's
or whatever, yeah,
temper reinforced, whatever, and I'm like, that's not how that works. But anyway, so they're leaking water. We see all the stuff. They find the elevator, and we get the classic line of, I guess we have to use the stairs, as they see the elevator crash to the bottom and unusable. Anyway.
See, I'm telling you, It's good. See, I can never write these movies just plainly because you would get some of me in these movies where somebody said that my character would turn and go, "No shit, Sherlock. You think?" Yeah.
Oh, gee. What's that? Oh, no, don't jump. What? And then I push you down the elevator shaft.
I don't think it's as deep as you think it is. I mean,
just shout up when you land and let me know you landed.
Yeah. I'm going to count how long it takes you to hit bottom. That'll be the clue.
This is where we get more exposition as they're moving through, because they bring up the Red Queen AI, and all they know, which also, if this place has such high security and it's giving like stats or whatever, how did nobody fucking know what was going on when they're just like, all we know is the AI went rogue and went and murdered everybody, but we don't know why. And I'm like, is there nothing in your system that flagged containment protocol, fucking anything? Or from what we learned later, did they just not fucking tell anyone? And it's just like, I don't know, send the team.
You would think the one guy who knew she was an asset, even if the other soldier didn't know, would have more of an idea of what was going on, because sounds like that would be his level of need to know. Okay.
It probably would be, but you know what? Movie not written that greatly, so we're not going to get any of those details.
Because that would have been one of those where all of the other ones were like, what do you mean? You knew we were walking into this and you didn't warn us? Yeah.
It could have been. It's the direction most people would go, but then this movie just decides that everyone in this movie is a fucking idiot, because literally every next event that happens in the rest of this movie that's the action part, I just have to go, you're all some of the dumbest special forces people I've ever seen in a movie.
Except for the one girl, the hot chick.
Except for one. Well, no.
No, she handled herself pretty well, I gotta say.
As much as I enjoy a good Michelle Rodriguez, right? She's a great actress, and Rain is a fun, badass character. She makes some pretty dumb decisions at some point in this movie where I'm just like, why would you do that? Why are we doing that? And she's not as bad as the other people, I will give you that, but she has her moments. Everyone in this fucking movie has their moments. So the team gets to the lab, and as we said before, they're all flooded. So they're like, well, this is the easiest way to get to where we have to go. We have to get to the AI's core, but we're going to have to go the long way. So they do. There's some subtlety here, because Detective Matt hears something at the vent, and he's not quite sure what it is. It just sounds like something. We as a viewer, if you know what you're in for, you know it's the zombies, but everyone else here is a fucking idiot and doesn't pay any attention. And then they do a thing here, and I don't know how I feel about it, is when they walk away and the one zombie comes back to life. I don't really know how I feel about that, because it's just like, if you had just waited 2 seconds, you would have seen like, oh shit, that dead person's come back to life, and it would have saved you all the trouble you're about to get into, but it has to be right when they walk away. Classic.
They did the same thing with Return of the Living Dead. I want you to remember that.
they do that. I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but they do that trope in a lot of things. Yeah. It's just here, something about it, just I can't. But anyway, so they leave the lab. They're going for this other route. This is where they learn that Umbrella maybe's not the most honest with them about what they're in for, because they're like, well, the blueprint says this should be a second cafeteria, but it doesn't look like that. And it's like, oh, were the giant metal containers with tubes all around, was that an indicator this isn't a second cafeteria? You fucking Einstein. maybe they're not being totally honest.
Given some of the food that I ate in college, that would be totally, that would fit right in. It would not surprise me one bit.
Straight from the metal box to your tray. That's how we do here at college.
That's right. Soylent Green is people. Okay, I'm just saying.
Wouldn't know. I didn't go to college. So anyway, undisclosed lab. There's something inside the metal containers because Alice goes to look at it and then she gets jump scared by fucking Matt. Whatever. So this is where we get into probably the funnest part of this entire movie is what this will give you. And I say that because it's the only part where I'm like, oh, well, that was at least interesting. Because a lot of the other kills and things, I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? What am I even doing? So anyway, so the team makes their way, the AI core is like on the other side. They have to go through some fucking dumbass hallway thing. And we have our little Chad Kaplan, who's the little tech guy. And he goes in and he's hacking everything. He gets the doors open. But then the door closes at the other end. And they're like, what the hell? And he's like, I don't know. Give me a second. Let me rehack it again real quick. They get this fucking door open. They crack the code. And my thought process here, why didn't the team leader go into the other room just in case something like exactly what happens, and you have someone on the other side to open the door and not have to deal with the lock combination again? Because instead, the captain just stands in the hallway and goes, all right, team, move on in. And they grab the EMP. And everybody but 2 fucking people on this team all get and go through the hallway.
I will say that knowing what we know, no matter what they would have done, it would have screwed them up because it wasn't just the doors being the doors. It was, it was the computer fucking with them at that point.
We get the laser hallway, right?
Love this part. Yeah.
This is very fun where like the laser moves with them so like they can't avoid it and is chopping everybody up. Super fun. I have one issue with this, and I had thought about it, and then rewatching it, I'm like, nope, I still have to question this AI. When it gets to the last guy, which I think everyone knows it, it's basically a meme at this point, but the dude gets hexagoned and he's all the pieces. Behind the scenes, like we were talking about, you only see the reflection of all the pieces falling, but they made a full human body, like, sculpt and then cut all those pieces individually so they would all fall out the way that they should. Which, much like we said where they cut things, that has to be the thing that they was cut, so it's only the stupid reflection, and it's not the seeing the body fall, because they did it specifically for that. But no, my issue here is when the laser goes all tennis net and chops him. Why the fuck didn't the AI do this to also destroy the EMP device that is literally 1.5 feet in front of the dude it just chopped up? It kills all these people, but it leaves the one fucking thing that can kill it. And I'm like, does the laser not affect fabric? It's like the EMP's untouched in this hallway, but she went out of her way to make
it touched laser. It touched all the clothes that the guy was wearing, so
that's like she didn't destroy the EMP. She killed all the people, but there's still other fucking people to set that off. You're fucking. It's like 1.5 feet. Just do the grid and cut the EMP thing too. Then what are they gonna do? They can't do shit. That's all they have to deal with you. So that is one thing I will say with this. The whole scene's very fun. I still enjoy it. It's still great with the laser. Again, the laser moving with them and they can't escape. But just the EMP thing, where like you see him getting cut, and it's literally like 1.5 feet in front of him, and I'm like, you couldn't grid just a little bit sooner. You could have destroyed the thing that you were trying to get rid of anyway.
I'm coming back! Open the door! I'm trying! We'll try harder! He's coming back!
almost there. Come on! Shit. Got it.
So everyone's fucking dead. And then Kaplan's like, I gotta shut down. It's all good now. And I do laugh that they're like, yeah, all right. You go first then. If you're so sure it's safe. So he has to try to go through the hallway. And you see him looking like, please, for the love of God, please just be shut down this time. Oh, so everyone's dead. They take Kaplan and Alice take the EMP. They go in. They shut down the fucking thing. This is where you get the line. Another thing that's become very popular with this movie, and it's gotten used in other places, and it's memed all the time. Is the Red Queen that you're all going to die down here?
Please, you're all going to die down here.
That's where this line comes up when they're going to shut down the AI, and the AI is like, you don't understand what I've been doing. Which, another point to the AI here. Just tell them. Tell them why all the doors are locked. Tell them why they shouldn't shut you down. Because if you had done that, literally you could have just let them leave. The vault door would have closed and everything solved.
Yep,
but
and all they well maybe the AI knew that as soon as they got outside they would be like, okay, we have to like nuke it from orbit. That's the only choice, you know.
You know what? Honestly, that is the only thing that they were missing for the ending of this movie, is that every game ends with a bomb. They were just missing the bomb. That was all you were missing. So yeah, she tells them they're all gonna die. They shut down the AI.
By the way, I have trouble with this. I have trouble with this computer, this AI, this Red Queen.
Oh yeah.
She
What's
sounds
your
like
issue?
a 6-year-old. She sounds like, which is just weird, dude.
Well, that's because it's based off the daughter.
Why would you make your computer sound like a 6-year-old? That's just freaky.
They give you the detail. It's based off the daughter of the dude, which you do see her again in one of the movies. God, it might even, maybe, I can't even remember what movie it is. There's a movie where they bring her back, and it's like the other AI that this one was supposed to be, and then they changed it. But it's because it's modeled off the one dude's daughter.
Yeah, I get
it's
that. But
meant to be.
It's weird.
Oh, Posh, you pipe down. That's the least of the issues. So the AI gets popped down, and then they take her hard drive so she can't reboot and cause more troubles for them. So this is where we get the rest of the team, which is Rain and then the other guy JD, who won't fucking matter here in very quickly. But everybody kind of teams back up, and they find a survivor who's obviously a zombie, and then we know that. They don't fucking know that, and even though the person looks like they've been smoking meth for like 10 years and are hunched in a pose that makes you question what the hell's wrong with your spine, sure, they're a survivor. This is where Rain gets bit, and another issue that I have with this movie in whole is how fucking long does this virus take? Because it seems like it has to kill you in order to really do anything, which, if he had played the games, it's not how that works. Because they act like normal what would be a zombie, whereas you get bit and you're just a fucking zombie. Like, there might be a little incubation, but, like, you're a fucking zombie. But then again, now that I'm thinking about it, they do clarify... There's a detail of this movie is that the door, they leave a thing on the door and it's set for 3 hours. And then they mention it's like an hour. So I guess like a 3-hour incubation for the thing. Whatever. She gets bit here, and then they gun down the person that they think is a survivor. And then they start getting surrounded by more survivors. Which the zombies kind of look neat. I'll give him credit. There are some that are genuinely I kind of like. Like, I like the axe-wielding zombie, which is the dude from the lab, because he just has a broken fucking ankle, so he's just walking on it, which is kind of neat. That's a neat little feature. The one zombie I do have an issue with, though, is there's one, he's super CGI'd. But, like, he turns his head towards you, and he's missing, like, half of his head, and I'm like, interesting zombie idea. However, according to the fucking rules we have for these things, if their brain or spinal cord is damaged, they die, and he's missing half his head. So I don't know. Apparently we're getting real loose and with the rules on these, I guess. But yeah, so everyone has to fight, and we get a big, huge fight scene thing of them shooting all these zombies that are coming up. A bunch of the metal containers get shot, which ends up becoming important. One of them explodes, and another one will be important here in about a minute. Yeah. But they're trying to get the door open. Chaplin can't remember the fucking code, keeps fucking it up, and then JD steps in, and then apparently Kaplan not having to type it, he remembers it immediately. JD types it, and he deserves to die with this one, where he's like, see, it's not that hard, is it? And then immediately gets ripped into the room by fucking zombies, and I'm like, you know what? For that smart ass remark, I think you kind of had that one coming. Like, yeah. You deserve that one.
04031 Got it. See how easy that was?
So here's the thing. This zombie kill is very Romero, where like somebody getting pulled in. However, like we mentioned earlier in the episode about like how some of the kills don't work, I hate this kill because nothing fucking happens. You like, if this were Romero, which is what it's trying to be an homage to, his guts should be being ripped out, his like face should be getting bit, but instead it's just a mob of people pulling him down and nothing happens to him. In fact, When we see him later, almost nothing happened to him, which I have issues with.
That's why they're missing the Romero thing, where it would be like bloody sausages and entrails at least, you know.
That would have been entertaining. That would have been awesome, because that's perfect for this, of getting pulled into the room with the undead. Like, yes, but it's not what they do here, and it just looks super fucking goofy. It looks like a dude who fell down in a mosh pit and just can't get up. The team reseals the door, and then everyone gets separated, which is just the civilians, which would be Matt, Spencer, Alice, get separated from the actual team.
Because movie got a movie, I'm just saying. You know?
Yeah, movie's got to do something. And this is where Rain gives Kaplan a very hard fucking time, because he mentions that the AI warned them, the shutting down the doors, whatnot, and she's like, so this is all your fault. Like, 100% this is your fault. Like, it told you not to do that, and you opened up the door. This is all your fault. Everyone's dead because of you. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, the team's really, really falling apart. It's like seeing people get eaten alive in front of you really, really breaks the team apart. I wonder if it was that or the getting cooked by lasers. One of the two will really break team morale. So... we get one of the containers busts open after everyone separates, and there's that'll be a thing that becomes important at the end of the movie. And it's a creature that I wish they didn't CGI so much, because the behind the scenes for it, they actually had full animatronic like puppet work going on with it. But then they choose to really just CGI the ever-living shit out of it, and especially in scenes where I'm like, you didn't need to if you already had a fucking thing, but whatever. Some of it I understand, you're trying to make the movements, maybe couldn't do that, but there are plenty of other scenes where they CGI it for no fucking reason. So anyway, so Alice gets lost, she gets trapped in the dog kennels, and we get one of the coolest prop designs for a creature in this movie. Because we had seen earlier, I forgot to mention, there were the dogs in kennels that apparently could smell the virus, and they were going nuts. But now they're all zombie dogs. And these are really cool because these are real Dobermans that they put all the stuff on. But turns out, when you put meat strings on a dog and then you're trying to get it all suited up, the dog tends to just try to eat the meat thing that's stripping off of it.
Yeah.
So production had said that the dogs were an absolute fucking nightmare to work with because they kept trying to rip things off of each other. They're like, no, just God damn it. Which gives you one flaw. The one flaw is as cool as they look from afar, and like I'm fine with it. Every time we get a close up, because the dogs kept eating this shit off of themselves, their mouths are CGI, and it drives me fucking insane. When we zoom in and I'm like, that's not a real dog mouth. I can see it like moving from the outline of the dog. Like, that is not the dog's real mouth. That very off-putting to like hone in on this close-up of their face. But this is where she fights the dog handler, who apparently was her stunt coordinator. And as me and Paul talked before we started recording, he should have trained her better, because apparently Mila just beat the shit out of people during this movie.
According to the behind the scenes, she injured 3 people in the making of this film,
including the director, apparently. So I guess he was getting mouthy and she had to put him in his place. I mean, I guess. Because apparently she also gave him a black eye. Oh. So anyway, she kills the dog handler. We get one dog that tries killing her, and then she grabs a pistol and locks it in her room, even though it broke the window out. I don't know why she thought closing the door was going to do much of anything. It broke through the fucking window, but sure. It buys her enough time to shoot. I think there's like 5 of them that come running in. Either way, we don't even see her shoot them. We just see her shooting the gun, and then fucking bullet casing goes down to the ground, and I'm out of ammo, but all the dogs are dead. I'm like, hey, that would have been cool. Do you think we could have fucking seen you do any of that instead of just close up on the gun? Like, what the fuck? But then he hears you loud and clear. So the last dog comes back through that window it broke. But then she does the really cool thing. And Paul, I don't know if you saw the behind the scenes. This is really cool. So get this, right? So Mila had to take 3 months of training to run up the wall and kick outward with the boots on for this one scene.
Yeah, to do that hallway thing, because that hallway thing is wild.
3 months to run 3 steps on the wall and turn around and kick a thing. Is it easy? I'm not going to say it's easy. However, really? Really?
To do it as fluidly as she did? Oh, absolutely, dude.
Well, it's the camera slows down. I think you could have just kind of made whatever work. But hey, whatever. I'm not the director anyway.
Okay, let's see you do it.
I could do it with my eyes
fat
closed.
Boy. No, come on, fat boy. Let's see you do it.
Hey. Hey, I can do it if I really wanted to. I'll even do it with the boots on. Give me the thigh highs. I'll run up the wall all day. I'll put her to shame.
Something tells me you would end up putting your foot through the wall on about step 2.
What a fat jokes right now. I feel very targeted. Well, you know what? Well, let's see you do it, Paul. I'm like,
See, I know I can, but I also know that doing a move like that is not easy. You know, that was, I mean, seriously, the run up the wall and turn around and kick, that's Jackie Chan level shit, dude. That
sure.
It's probably the turnaround and the kick part is probably the hardest part. To stay, to actually hit your target at that point.
It's something about it hurt my brain to read that it was 3 months for that one stunt to get done, and I was just like, do you really need that shot that bad? Because it's also, as much as that stunt is hard to do, and it's impressive, it might be the dumbest fucking scene.
Well, yeah, but the other side of it is,
and she just kick. It's
but
dead.
Remember, you said by the end of these movies, she's shown to be a real badass. So yeah,
which I don't. Going through this movie again, I thought maybe I misremember. I didn't misremember shit. I don't fucking understand why she has anything she does. Because in this one, she's very clearly just a fucking person. Maybe
but
the ending is why, but
even some of the fighting and stuff she did, even she was looking at her hands like, where did that come from? She doesn't, at that point, she didn't know, where she got that.
Well, yeah, at that point, skills. She doesn't have her full memory, so she doesn't remember her training.
Right.
But the things that they would do later, I think it has to do with the ending to this movie. Maybe I haven't seen the second one in a while to know if they mention it again. Anyway, regardless, let's get back to this. So yeah, we get the wall kick with the dog, which again, impressive stunt. It's just very stupid fucking scene. It's one dog. It's just, anyway. She deals with the dogs, and then we get Detective Matt, the cop from before. He ends up in the offices. He's looking for his sister Lisa, who we saw in the beginning, and then we find out it's the woman from the offices earlier in the beginning of the movie here. And he finds his sister, and oh no, she's a zombie. And then Alice somehow caught up to where he is. I don't understand the layout of this building, but she goes to the dog kennels, and now she's in the office. And she smashes her fucking head open. And then instead of being upset that you just watched your sister get murdered, Matt instead goes, I'm going to tell you why I was looking for her now. Instead, I'm going to take the next 2 minutes to just exposition my entire subplot, which is that my sister was going to take things from Umbrella, and I am actually CIA, and I was going to use it to bring them to the light. Something that we probably could have mentioned at any point earlier in this movie, since we're already halfway through. But you know what? We're just going to exposition dump it now. That's why I was looking for her. It's a lot of shit like that this movie does, where characters are just like, I'm doing it for this reason. I'm not going to elaborate on that till towards the end of the movie, but that's why. So anyway, so he's CIA, sister was Lisa, and then Alice gets some glimpses that she was her contact at Umbrella. It's a whole thing that we won't even understand again till the fucking end of this movie.
Even then, we don't understand it really, but
I think I do. He combined. It's one of those things where like my brain has to process multiple Resident Evils and be like, what plot was he doing? And I kind of pieced together what he did. And it's still confusing.
But for a movie to be good, you shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to know about the games. I shouldn't have to know about the through line story.
Man,
that's
Paul
like with
like a modern moviegoer over here.
With the Halo stuff, people go, well, if you read the books, you would know. I'm like, no, I shouldn't have to read the books to understand what I'm seeing on the screen. That's not how that works. That's not how that...
I've been very vocal. If we're talking about the Halo series, I refuse to watch any more of it. I watched 2 episodes and went, I don't know what the fuck this is trying to do, but that's nowhere near what that should be doing. And then I saw things that happened later and I went, I'm glad I didn't keep watching. I would have lost my fucking mind.
Well, see, no, because I can
any of
separate.
that works.
I can separate book story from movie story most of actually every time. If the movie's good and the book's good, I don't care. They can do what they're going to do as long as they both tell a cohesive story, even if they change things. Like Stephen King's Misery is a perfect example of that. The book is great, the movie is great, even though they're not exactly the same.
Sometimes that can work. However, I feel that there are other times when you're doing something that's an established property, maybe, just maybe, don't just combine everything into a fucking blender and go, it's got the name and look if you're not actually fucking doing the thing. This has that problem too, where he took the first 3 and went, I'll make them 2 separate movies and have nothing to do with fucking anything. No, I hated the Halo series by like the end of the first episode. I will be point blunt with all of you. I didn't watch it.
Actually, I thought the end of the first episode was a good sign when they basically when they killed all those kids in that barn and stuff. I thought, okay, we're gonna get a hardcore, a visceral Halo story, which is what I what I liked. Not whatever the hell they did after that, because they seem to have blown their entire budget on that one scene. But
I saw enough of what they were doing to just be like, that's not Halo, which is why we on Oddcast call him John Halo 117, not Master Chief or anything else. We call him that because he's whatever the fuck that is supposed to be. And I feel the same way about Rings of Power. Don't even fucking at me, all you people who are like, Rings of Power is great. It's fucking not. It's fucking not. And you know why it's not? Because Amazon didn't actually have the rights to do shit. So it's not even the story it's supposed to be, because they don't even have the fucking rights to do the shit. So Rings of Power is another one that I can't watch because I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Anyway, so back to Resident Evil. Kids. So she dealt with the dog. We got the dead sister. And what do we do now, kids? We have a revealed CIA op. Does it become an interesting escape and expose the bad guys movie? No, because now we get the reveal that the blast doors are closing in 1 hour. They have 1 hour to run back to the train and get out. Which is exactly like the games, but this time it's not a bomb. It's just that the vault doors are going to close. Also, we're saying that everything that has just happened has happened in the span of 2 hours, because this was set for 3 hours. They do way more to get out, and yet somehow that's under an hour, and I have to question my life. Because from here, Alice says, fuck all of you, takes the hard drive, reboots the Red Queen, and then it thinks that the AI is going to help them, which obviously you should know that there's going to be some fuckery that goes on. It just literally was telling you it was going to kill you, but sure. And then it gives you a bullshit breakdown of this is what the T-virus is. And it's like a basic zombie virus. And I'm like, you know what? You get some good checkmark points for the fact of that basically. Although when she talks about the liquor later and she says it's from injecting T-virus directly into living tissue. And I'm like, that's not how that works. That doesn't even make fucking sense. It would just still be the T-virus. It wouldn't fucking matter. What the fuck are we doing? So anyway, so she gives the basics about zombies. They're also wrong about the hair and fingernails keep growing. That's just dead skin. So fucking, of course, that still grows. But she's like, you're still living. And it's like, no, it's not how those things work. Mr. Anderson, you could have easily just... Yeah, even back in 2002, I feel like there's something you could have looked at and been like, oh, well, that's wrong. Maybe I should change the script a little bit. Regardless. And they even tell the AI they have an EMP in place. If she acts up, they'll shut her down again. She'll be fried. She'll be no coming back. So she agrees to help. I guess. She doesn't really fucking do anything to help, but sure. So this is where they go through the sewer. because the AI is like, oh, the sewer's where they're not at. You guys should totally go through the sewer to bypass everything. That's great. Can you guess what happened, folks? That's right, they get jumped by the fucking zombies. It also happened to be in the sewer.
Either that, or even without knowing the knowledge of the game, I would have expected possibly zombie rats or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm just,
See, now, if he had made a giant alligator to appear here, I would have laughed so hard that he was going for the things from the game. But he doesn't. Instead, we just get everybody climbing onto pipes to climb over the heads of the zombies. Now, this is where Rain, I feel, makes mistakes. Rain gets bit like 3 times in this entire exchange of things. She gets bit by a zombie when they first come up. Then she can't shoot JD, and another zombie comes up and bite her. And then JD goes to bite her, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, just get up on the pipe. Why are we fucking with the zombies? So she ends up shooting JD. It's a whole emotional thing for her. But then they take the pipes, and they walk above all the zombies' heads until they get to a junction spot where all the pipes are going different places and whatnot. And this is where the pipe decides it's going to fall now. And it's going to fuck everybody over. More specifically, it's going to fuck Kaplan over. Who also somehow doesn't get eaten by the zombies. I say that because he falls down in the middle of them. And then they just kind of like paw at him. But none of them do anything. He's just kind of able to push them away and then climb a pipe.
Now, if you've ever watched like Return of the Living Dead, this should be this. Your brain would go, "Oh, this is a clue. This is something. This is,
Does it? Does it with this movie?
Well, because have you ever watched Return of the Living Dead?
Yes.
You know why those two guys were never attacked, even though they were always at ground zero with the zombies, because they were already dead too. Yeah, they.
See, but Kaplan's not like Kaplan did get bit.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
But
I think it was just a screw up because in somebody like my head,
it has to be.
Yeah. See, in my head, I see that and I go, well, if they're not attacking him, that's because he's already too far gone.
But see, and that's where I have an issue with it in that regard, because it's like fucking Rain got bit like 30 minutes ago. And the fucking zombies were still taking chunks out of her. They were like, I don't give a fuck. But him, he just got the one bite of the ankle. Regardless, they end up leaving him. And then
maybe he was burning Old Spice. I don't know.
Sure. The ultimate zombie deterrent. You hear that, ladies?
That's lucky. I want you to go.
No, we're not leaving you, Kaplan.
Yes, you are.
No.
You can't kill all of them. I'm not going anywhere. I want you to go now. Please. Just do it.
So here he ends up not shooting himself. We see he ends up shooting a zombie. They leave him, and then he gets away. I don't know where he goes. He comes back towards the end of the movie. Where the fuck he went when he left down the tunnel thing, I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you where those pipes took him. So this is another thing. They go to the flooded lab because Alice starts getting her memory issue.
Real quick. I want to mention that the sewer sequence is one of the few times that Mila did not do her own stunts. Because they had hanging wires and stuff, and her manager was like, no, because they were afraid she might actually get hung up in the wires if she tried to do the jump herself. So
yeah,
let the woman strangle herself. yeah.
Jesus Christ. So that is a fact. I did forget about that. The pipe breaking, her making the jump she didn't do. So this is So back into this, we get out of the sewer. We get one tease of the liquor walking on a wall for whatever fucking reason. But this is where Alice gets her memory back. She remembers that there's the virus and an antivirus. And I just want to point out, as the game Resident Evil nerd that I am, the green one is not a fucking antivirus. The green one is a different virus. I'm going to get real nerd on you guys. That's called the G virus, which makes tyrants, which are the big boss characters at the end of every game. But in this, we're saying that it's antivirus. In case you don't know, in Resident Evil, there is no fucking antivirus. I think they just did that in the newest game. They have like an anti... But that wasn't a fucking thing before. It was just like, if you fucking get God, you're God. There's no helping you. But I guess I get for a movie, you have the characters have the antivirus. So she's gonna go for the antivirus, and then this is where fucking Spencer gets his memory back for some reason. Everybody just gets their fucking memory back here. And Spencer decides that evil man's gonna be evil, and basically spills the beans that he already took the virus earlier. That's why it's not here, and it's stored back on the train where everything started. And they're all idiots. They should have just stayed on the train. So that's where he's gonna go. But then instead of shooting everyone like he should have done, he instead gets surprised by the what did I have as my note? Oh, that's right. Quietest zombie that has ever gotten out of the water in cinema ever. As the zombie's able to stand up out of the water, get up behind him, and latch onto him. And then everyone scrambles. He gets away, locks them inside the lab, and the doors don't open. He shoots the lock, which apparently... I guess it has some kind of mechanical lock, even though we see someone open that door later. So I have to question that just a little fucking bit, but sure. So Spencer's gonna get away, and everybody thinks they're fucked, and then the Red Queen shows up, and she goes, "No, actually, I let this biological fucking weapon loose earlier, and it's gonna kill you all."
Actually, I like what she says when they think, "Oh, we're just gonna let him get away," and the Red Queen goes, "I've been a bad, or I've been naughty or something."
Yeah.
I don't think so. I've been a bad, bad girl.
Oh my god.
I've been very naughty or whatever it was. Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it does. So this is where we get to officially see the liquor, which it's mostly CGI. They said they had two different things made up, like practical actual liquors on set. Now, where I could understand the CGI is when it's crawling from the ceiling. Like, sure, you got to have it crawling on the ceiling, so you're going to animate a thing, whatever. When it's just eating him and mauling him, whatever, you probably could have just stuck with like a practical thing and made it work, but instead it's just all CGI, and it looks so rubbery and fucking stupid now. Back then, as a kid, I was like, scary monster. Looking at it now, I'm like, oh my god, that is the fakest looking piece of shit I've ever seen.
Well, 2002 CGI, they've come a long way, you know.
They've definitely come a long way. So it kills Spencer, and then this is what Alice points out, is like, that was meant to kill all of us, wasn't it? It's like, well, I kind of figured you just fucking die in the sewer, and then you didn't die in the sewer. So yeah, I mean, eventually it'll kill all of you, sure. Yeah, that's basically what I'm getting at. Because the Red Queen mentions that her whole thing for protocol is that the virus isn't allowed to leave the lab. but she knows that anyone exposed to it can spread it. It doesn't take much. So she's like, being in here, you've been exposed. I can't let you leave. And then they mentioned some shit about it's able to go from liquid to gas back to liquid depending on its environment. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that is some sci-fi magic bullshit. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Well, to me, that just means it would be temperature sensitive in order to do that.
I suppose. I suppose maybe. I honestly, folks, I don't fucking know, because he smashes it in the lab and it's liquid, and then it turns into a gas and it infects the whole building. We're just going to move past it, because I don't understand Anderson's script writing sometimes. So anyway, so they're going to do that. The liquor ends up showing up outside the lab, and it can't quite break the glass, and they can't open the door, and they can't get the other door open because the Red Queen AI's changed the code lock. And then it tells them that they can get out, but it knows that Rain has been infected and is bitten. And it's like, yeah, the antivirus is on the train, sure. She could still become a zombie in between there, and then it won't have any effect anyway, so you're going to have to kill her, and then I'll let you leave. But then, of course, Alice can't do that, and they're all going to die, and then this is where fucking Kaplan comes back. Where the hell he was hiding or getting to here, I don't know. But he shows up. He's able to open the door for some reason. Because, again, the dude had, like, blown off the lock and it couldn't open. Whatever. He sets off the EMP failsafe, kills the queen. They all run for the fucking train. Yeah, and so now we're just getting into the end of this movie where they're all on the train and it's all happy, good, fun times. Everyone's getting an antivirus. Alice runs into Spencer Zombie as they're getting on the train, and she gives him the same line she gave to him. He gave to her, which is "I'm missing you already," and then she shoots him. And then everybody's all happy. They're on the train. They're gonna get out. It's all happy go lucky. But then again, he takes something from Resident Evil game. He takes the Resident Evil 2 when you're on the train and you're Claire Redfield. You have to fight the tyrant on the train as it's trying to leave. But here it's just a fucking liquor that apparently can mutate. Whatever. But it, I did chuckle a little bit that, like, they gave everybody an antiviral. The first person to fucking die is Kaplan, who's driving the train, and I'm like, oh, well, fucking wasted the antiviral on him. He's the first one dead. He gets ripped out of the train. They all start fighting on the train. My favorite scene of this entire ending, right before the liquor shows up, Alice gives the antiviral to Rain, and Rain is like, if I turn into one of those, you got to promise to kill me. And she's like, yeah, no, I won't let you, whatever. And she just, like, takes a nap, and Alice is just holding the pistol like, oh god, I'm gonna have to kill you, I'm so sorry. It's just her grabbing the pistol like, I'm not dead yet. You know what, on second thought, I think I'll just take the pistol back. It's like, you were ready to fucking kill me, I'm just taking a nap. Oh. So,
well, to be fair, she wasn't sure if she was sleeping or dead and gonna, waiting for the old eye pop open and,
It's fair. She could have...
We wait too long to get her the antivirus, basically. Yeah, so it was...
Which we now find out anyway, that it was too late.
I'm not dead yet. I think I'll have that back.
I can kiss you, bitch.
What the hell's going on back there?
Because Rain ends up dying behind off screen here as the liquor busts open the door. Rain turns into a fucking zombie. They're trying Alice and Matt are trying to figure out battling the liquor. They ram pipes into it, shove a sharp pipe through its tongue so it can't move because there's like a like a trap door thing inside the train. I'm not sure what purpose it would serve other than if you had to get under it, which they do that. But other than that, I don't know what purpose this serves on a fucking train. I guess just for a cool bad guy fight. But Zombie Rain goes to stop Matt before he can open up the floor thing, and then he shoots her in the head. She falls back, hits the button. Liquor goes on bottom, hits third rail, lights on fire, gets crispy. And then that's the end of that. And they get out. The vault door closes as they leave, and they're like, oh my God, we've done it. And Matt's like, we can use that virus and stop Umbrella. And then the credits roll. They're going to be the heroes. Just kidding. It's Resident Evil. It's not going to end fucking happily. That's how the game would end. But instead, the movie, Matt got scratched by the liquor, which apparently is causing him to fucking mutate. For some ungodly reason, he needed something for the sequel, which you'll get in Resident Evil Apocalypse or Nemesis. I think it's Apocalypse was the second one. They used the
I'm
word
not
Apocalypse.
watching it. Not watching it. Nope.
I'm not going to make Paul watch it. There are plenty of movies that I can't make Paul watch that I will have other people or by myself. And I'll probably do the sequel to Resident Evil in that fashion. But he starts mutating. Umbrella shows up. They take him away, which they mention he's got to be put in the Nemesis program.
He's mutating. I want him in the Nemesis program.
Which will become important in the next movie. And it's also just even fucking dumber. And then Alice gets taken to a hospital. And this is where Paul was jumping to before, of that she wakes up with a bunch of fucking tubes and shit all over her. Which I assume... I think they mentioned it in a later movie, that this is where they injected her with some shit and were trying to make her another weapon, whatever the fuck. It's whatever. They just do 28 days later. I don't know how else to put it to you people, because she wakes up in a hospital and no one's around, and then it's just her walking outside to a destroyed city. Which my only note to when she's...
I want to point out, though, when they took him and he was mutating... They said, okay, take him to Raccoon City. So that's the tie-in to, okay, now we're going to go to Raccoon City.
Yes.
And that's when my head went, oh, God, the sequel.
Yes. He took the first half of Resident Evil 2 and then some of Resident Evil 3 and made a sequel. But my only note here is when she walks into the city and it's all destroyed, before she grabs the shotgun, there's a newspaper that's like the dead are rising, whatever. Whoever the fuck works for that paper, photography, that man, hopefully he's not dead, deserves a raise, because it's clearly a horde of zombies coming at the camera that somehow he got a picture of for the paper. Good on that guy. But that's Resident Evil from 2002. Honestly, Welcome to Raccoon City, the reboot of trying to do Resident Evil, I prefer this one over that one. And I know for some people they'll be like, what the fuck? This one, as dumb as it is, it moves by very quickly with how it kind of just plays itself out. It has nostalgia for me. Also,
was the longest 92 minutes of my life. Okay.
the Welcome to Raccoon City only has a couple scenes here and there where I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. This one just has nostalgic place for me, and I enjoy just a little bit more. I hope Zach Krager, I hope his turns out different, not being based on a game. Because this one and Welcome to Raccoon City tried combining Game 1 and Game 2 and part of 3 into one cohesive mess, and it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. And all of you people who are on the internet talking about the 2002 Resident Evil is superior. It's fucking not. Go back and watch this. If you didn't grow up with it, you'll be like Paul, and you'd be like, this movie's fucking terrible. And even as somebody who grew up with it like I did, I'm still like, oh no, this movie has so many fucking issues. Just some very dumb choices.
I'm sorry, this was not an engaging movie. If I wouldn't have known anything about the games or anything and just tried to watch this movie, it's a horror movie. It's about, I would have watched it and went,
See, maybe
and by today's standards, it was PG-13 at best. Okay,
That's what pisses me off the most. Is they made it fucking rated R, but they cut every goddamn thing out of this except a couple somewhat naked Milas in there, and I'm like, what the? Why is this rated R? There's no reason.
Just.
So that's Resident Evil 2002. Let us know in the comments. Do you like this one, the sequel? Are there any of these that you enjoy? Are you excited for the new one coming? I'm excited for the new one just because I'm curious. Doing something, as I said, other than remaking the fucking games. Curious what he's going to do with it. There's a lot of cool creatures. Anyway.
I'm going to go in. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't care if he is using cell phones. I'm not. So this is supposed to take place in this era, and they should know.
I
don't care. I don't care.
He looks like he was just going to have fun with big dumb monsters, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's fitting. Resident Evil has a lot of.
The only thing I ask is if he does have cell phones, give us a reason why the cell phones aren't working or whatever.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. Have a reason of something.
Yeah.
As always, folks, we don't prank our friends as a serial killer because that will never go well.
He says we. I don't know. I did it last week, and I have to go visit him in the hospital now.
Now the FBI is on their way. So congratulations, you've given yourself away. This season 5 is all wrapped up now. This was a sting operation.
They're not going to see it.
Paul, we're getting Paul arrested for his malicious acts that he committed.
You're assuming anybody who cares is going to watch this thing.
Nobody watches this show. But that's why we have to mention the rules in case someone does. And you just have to pay attention to what movie you're in to understand what it is you have to do. Is it don't bring things back from the dead? I don't know. Is it don't go in the water, stay off the beaches? If you're on a coastal town, it probably is. Is it like this one where it's don't take the train? Just don't do it. Just walk away. And in fact, for this movie, if they were going to tell you either get shot or you have to go on the train, take the bullet because it's going to be faster than getting eaten alive by zombies.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you are. All the rules are always changing. Don't bury the dead under the road. Don't betray puppets. Don't write a vampire Bible. The list goes on and on. Hopefully you go back and watch our other episodes. Thank you for joining us on the season. We'll see you again when we cover Godzilla with Kaiju Tober. I'm very excited about that.
All the Godzilla that you can handle. Yeah, baby.
All the Godzilla that we can handle. Maybe just you. I don't know. Anyway, you can follow Paul at CerebralPaul1 on Twitter or CerebralPaul over on Twitch. He's doing stuff with Gears of War currently. When this comes out, he was doing stuff with Gears of War.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And check out What an Oddcast. I see you people are going over checking out the other podcasts. We appreciate you. If you're on a podcast platform, rate, like, all that, whatever. YouTube, subscribe, whatever. I don't know. Good night. Goodbye. Have fun. Stay odd. Goodbye, everyone. I would never make you watch any more Resident Evils. Are you fucking kidding me? No.
No. I think I have tried to go back and watch some of the other movies outside of this one, and no, they are just
nostalgia for me. 1 and 2 is as far as I'll go. They were like Fast and Furious, where it started about zombies, or like Fast and Furious about racing fast cars, and then lost the plot of that by the third movie, where they're like, I don't know, it has some semblance of that, but we're doing whatever the fuck now.